welcome back, guys. Welcome to the second podcast of Naked Coolers. A lot of things transpired from our last podcast. We were going into the game, Real Betis game, a bit of pessimistic, and for what all it turned out, we had an amazing result, and it changed the entire atmosphere and the entire season, the scope and everything. So. Now, let's just before diving into the Champions League, of course, everybody's excited about the Champions League. All the clubs, it's back again. You can feel it in the social medias, in your friend circle. You can feel it. But the thing is, for Barcelona fans, we were optimistic about the Champions League. We were optimistic just in general because of the draw, in because we got easy opponents. All the three opponents, except Porto, they could challenge us. But if we do our basics, we can win both the games against Porto. But the real excitement was our performance versus Real Betis last game. It amped up everything, every expectations we have for this Champions League. And of course, before diving into the Champions League, we need to talk about this and how it's going to impact the season. In my opinion, this is the best we have seen Barca in years to come. So let's talk about this more. What do you think about the performance versus Betis?
I think the performance was probably the best we have seen from Barcelona in the recent few years. Our link-up play was amazing. Cancelo was amazing. Joao Felix was really amazing, and I think this was our best performance in the last few years.
How do you think Joao Felix impacted the game in particular? Because of course it's a big difference from watching Barcelona with Joao Felix and without Joao Felix. It's too early to say. It's just one game. But how did the immediate change, impact the game?
I think his link-up play was really good with Lewandowski. At least he wasn't too out on the wing. He was more central. So
yeah, he was free roaming. He had a free role.
Yeah, so Lewandowski didn't feel like he was just alone there by himself, like he would normally be with if we play someone, like Ferran on the left instead of on the right. But yeah, the link-up play was really good, especially with that second goal where the no touch pass pretty much, and there were a couple of chances that I believe just touch on Felix. He had a couple of chances. Really surprised me, especially for his first start, and against a big team, at least big Spanish team in La Liga. So I think it's definitely one of the better performers from that game, for me at least, along with Cancelo. Also, Ferran was pretty good. His movement was helped a lot, especially on the right side. And
yeah, let's talk about the free kick.
Yes, the free kick. First free kick since Messi, which was 2 years ago or 2 seasons ago.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it's definitely
it was
something.
A banger.
Yes,
yeah, it was definitely something. Yeah.
And the funny part was that I think in an interview after the game, he said that he didn't even mean to do it like that. He was like,
well, yeah. Sometimes he needs to shut the fuck up. Let people celebrate, enjoy this. Right.
A proper right back that attacks. And obviously his role also coming into the midfield helped a lot as well. And the midfield was pretty good. Frankie, Gavi, Romeo. Romeo had a good game as well. He's been having a few good games recently, so that's definitely good to hear. Good to see from our midfield. And backline was solid, especially Koundé. Koundé, I think I read somewhere that he hasn't been dribbled past in the 5 La Liga games that he's played so far. So that's definitely important for us. Good to know that we have we weren't solely relying on Araujo as center back that can not get dribbled past and defend.
Yes. And
I think Joao Felix had an amazing game. Especially how he was linking up with Lewandowski and the other players. There were many moments when he even dropped in the midfield and took the ball from the opponent team and then led an attack, which eventually didn't lead to a goal, but we definitely saw a lot of promising signs from Joao Felix. I was a bit wrong about Joao Felix.
You were a bit wrong.
I was a bit wrong.
You told me just playing Chinese league, and and that's called being a bit wrong.
Okay. I will apologize if he continues to perform like this. If he continues to perform like this, I will apologize because he really it wasn't like that he had a good game. It was like that he knew what to do, and that's very important. Like he knew how to
That
link
means
up
he
with.
had a good game. That means he had a good game.
Yeah, no, I mean,
A lot of chances, and Joao Felix fit rightly into the team. So he's just perfect, for the Xavi system. If he performs well, we're still not going to sign him. Atletico is going to demand 150 million from Chelsea, and Chelsea is going to pay it. We all know.
I think another player like I also want to talk about Cancelo. And Cancelo had an interesting game last night because he was not only playing as a right back, he was also playing as a midfield. If you can see the highlights I'm showing right now, like repeatedly, I've seen Cancelo dropping in the midfield, helping with the passing, and I'm talking about core midfield, like at the center of the ground. And he took the ball, he passed around, he helped the team, and then he also led attacks from there. And that's something I think Xavi's new tactic is
Yes.
to ask
Yes, I
Cancelo to
mean
drop in the midfield.
Cancelo. I mean Lewandowski passed the ball to him in the midline, and Cancelo just went on, kept going forward. A few dummies here and there, turning the player in and out, and boom, a shot. It's a goal. It was amazing. The fifth goal of the game was just beautiful from Cancelo. He did it all by himself. Yeah. And another player I want to talk about is Rafinha. I mean, I have been vocal and critical about him, since the past 6 months. His play, is just like is nothing to watch. Eventually, he comes in, he does something good for a minute, and he just, grabs a G or an A. That's been Rafinha for the past 6 months. And yesterday, he looked much more lively. But the goal he scored, man, of all the 5 goals, I mean, all the five goals we have scored are bangers. In my opinion, Rafinha's goal just stood out. Amazing.
I think just to add to that, the reason why he was more like he didn't like I guess perform as expected, I guess, is because he didn't really have much competition. Because when Dembele was out, it was just realistically just a Rafinha on the right, and no one's really like competing against him. But now he has someone like Yamal to compete against him, or even Ferran who can play on the right side. So now he has to like up his game and really just be that extra bit better, just to get into the starting lineup.
Uh,
Yeah.
the thing about Rafinha is I don't think his game has changed a lot because of competition or anything. Last night, he basically played the same way that he has done in the last few games. The difference, there was not much difference. He also scored a goal similar to the goals he have scored before. I still think Lamine.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So, anything else you want to say about the game versus Betis?
Yeah, yeah. I
Also, hey,
also
Betis. Let's talk about Betis' performance. I mean, I felt like they were a bit bad. Like they're surely top five teams in La Liga. They would lope the field with Manchester United.
I think it's
Home or
just
away.
I think it's just they were plagued with injuries.
yeah, yeah.
They had Nabil
I mean,
Fekir.
they're supposed to be more decent than this. They're like it's not like 2010. They're kind of a European club now, and they are
I
playing
mean,
in
if
European
you looked at
competition.
their
So
back line, right? If you looked at their back line, it didn't really like strike me as like a really good back line. Barca B player, Chadi Riyad, um,
I think
another
I
Barca B player, Miranda, and then I forgot who the right back was, but Bellerin.
I think
So it didn't really strike me as like a really good back line. And that definitely showed after this with the scoreline. So I think it it really was just it just comes down to like their back line, and obviously they lost a key player in Luis. I think it was Luis, some center back that they lost. I don't remember who it was, but
mm,
key players left the team. So it's just I guess it's just maybe they're not as good as they were last year based off like their squad now.
hey, what do you think about performances of the ex-Barca player? Especially, I'm talking about Abde Zuzuli. I mean, it was his debut, and it was against Barca. So, what do you guys think?
Abde didn't really impress. He had a few good runs. Like we know he has good speed, but I didn't see any intelligent play from him. That's his biggest criticism from like any person, any of the Barcelona
I
fan.
mean, that's a lot of euphemism there. The right word should be dog shit because that's what he did the game. He was horrible. Sanmai, again, we are talking about a player who you preferred ahead of Joe Felix. And
I
yesterday's game,
I, I
you could
actually
see the difference.
yes, I agree with that. The thing is, I thought Joao Felix was like worse than dog shit. and he turned out not to be not to be that, and that's really
No, it
surprising.
shouldn't be. The thing is, it shouldn't be surprising for you to find Abdel Zuzuli the player he is because he's
No,
always been like this.
Abde has been dog shit. Like I'm talking about Joao Felix. Like I expected him to be worse than dog shit, but he wasn't. He was like really good, and that's what
Surprise,
was
surprise.
that's what was
Yeah.
surprising. But I think Mark Batra has had a good game. He made really good tackles. I think their goalkeeper, their when they subbed the goalkeeper, that was the biggest blow to them. They had like 8 or 7 injuries already, and when the second goalkeeper, like he was really bad.
I just feel that, no matter if we change the goalkeeper or not, the scoreline is going to be the same because all the goals we scored after the second half mark were all of them were bangers.
Yeah. Like we were definitely better than them even in the first half.
I just wanted to add, even attacking wise from Betis, they weren't really that threatening. I think they had like 1 or 2, maybe 3 good chances against us that I could remember. But apart from that, it was fairly one-sided. Like
Yeah,
from
like what
attacks
were
from
they
us.
doing? They should have been parking the bus against us. I mean, they're doing nothing. They're doing nothing in the attack. They're doing nothing in the defense. They should have parked the bus against us. I mean, at least it would have prevented the scoreline from 5-0, right? Talking about teams playing possession style of football now, the ex-Barcelona player and the coach of um, uh, Antwerpen, right? So he is Van Bommel. So he claimed to play a more possession style football against us, and I think it's a good news if he sticks by his words. Don't you guys think? I think we thrive under oppositions who are more position based.
Yes, I guess. I mean, it's better than playing against a low block team where
Yes.
it's just us with the ball and just just doing side passes all the time. But if
Yeah.
that's the case, then it definitely leaves a lot of gaps where we can like exploit and make runs in behind. For example, with Ferran making runs in behind. I know he does it for the Spanish national team quite often. That's something we can like use as an advantage. Leaves a lot of space in the midfield as well if that's how they want to play, and that's good for us if we play like a 4-3-3. We know our midfielders with Frankie, Gundo, Gavi, and Romeo. They can definitely knock the ball around and keep possession as well.
So Harsh, I mean, you would like a 4-3-3, yes, we get it. I mean, since you are talking about the lineup here, who do you think should start in attack, midfield, and defense? First, let's go with the attacking. What do you
Yeah.
think, Harsh?
Okay.
What
I
are the
think.
three attackers you want? Three or two? First,
Okay.
you
I
want three
think.
attackers, yes?
I think. I think I'd want, since Felix did have a good game, I would say start him on the left, Lewandowski down the middle, and I would rather rest Ferran for this game and have Rafinha play since Rafinha only played a couple of minutes last game and he's been well rested. So probably start him off and maybe have Ferran come off the bench for either Rafinha or Felix. And then in the midfield, I would say Frankie. I would bring back Gundo just because since, like you mentioned, they are playing a more possession based game. He's definitely good in that type of scenario, and Gavi because pressing, he's really good with that pressing against teams. And in the back line, I would say Balde, Christensen. I think I would take Christensen over Inigo right now for the time being. I think maybe the next game against Celta Vigo, I would probably start him over Christensen just to give Christensen a bit of rest. But for the time being, since it is an UCL game, it's our first one. We want to start off on a high note, so just go with the strongest backline we have right now. So Balde, Christensen, Kunde, and Cancelo, and then obviously Ter Stegen in the goal.
Right. So I'll go with mine now. The thing is, me, I would start, as forwards, I would like to start Joao Felix in the left wing. And for this game, I would like to bench Lewandowski because it's time. He's been constantly playing the games, whether it's now for the national team or for the club. He's always there on the pitch. And even though it's he's whether he's performing or not, he's giving his 100%, and he deserves a break. And it's just Anderlecht, and we're already in a good form, so we can keep him on the bench. So that would be Ferran for him and Felix, and then in the right wing, It could be either Rafinha or Lamine Yamal. So, I think the players should be awarded for performances in the previous game. It shouldn't be for nothing, right? So Rafinha had a decent game and he had an amazing goal. I think he should be rewarded for that. And Lamine eventually is going to get minutes. Let's take it slow on him. We have players who can cover the tracks, cover for him. So this is my front three as a forwards. And for midfielding, I'd go with Gundogan, Frankie, and Aurel Romeo. I think it's better to rest Gavi. He already has been knocked down once or twice, and he's still young, and he seems physical, but it's best for him to start from the bench for this game. And for backline, I don't have much changes. I'd stick with the last backline, but maybe I'd play Christensen and Inigo Martinez because Jules Koundé, he's been getting a lot of minutes, and I don't want to risk another injury. He's a world-class defender. He's shown in all the games he's played, and I want him to keep doing that. I don't want any minor setbacks or major setbacks. So let's rest him, don't take any risks. And Sunmai, what do you think? This is mine.
I kind of agree with you on Lewandowski, but I don't think you should drop your main striker in the first UCL game. If you already had qualified for the group stages, then maybe yes. But for the moment, I think we should start with Rafinha on the right, Lewandowski up top, and maybe Felix on the left. In the midfield, I will start Gundogan, De Jong, and Romeo, and bench Gavi. Gavi has been amazing, but I think we should rest him tonight. The backline should be Cancelo, Konde, Inigo. Inigo should start, and Balde on the left.
So Christensen is going to be benched.
Yeah, I think Christensen should get some rest, and Konde should not be benched for the moment. I think Konde is doing a great job, and he should start tonight.
Fair enough.
So the official lineups are also out.
Let's discuss.
Yeah, I got it. So it seems Ter Stegen in goal, Balde, Christensen, Koundé, and Cancelo in the back line.
So Aurel Romeo and Ferran is not starting, so Rafinha is being awarded, rightfully so, for his performance against Real Betis. And hopefully he can keep up the performance. And it's very important for us to make a statement in the first game in Champions League. I think it's a decent lineup. All the players that are lined up today, I have no complaints against them. The only thing I would like to see is how we play. And hopefully the game style is similar to that of Real Betis. Even though the opponents are, much, much, much weaker, and we shouldn't drop our tempo. We shouldn't show any mercy, and we should just fuck them, right?
Strong lineup. I think, did I get it bang on?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. You got this.
I think the reason why I didn't want Romeo in the midfield was, like you mentioned, that they are going to be playing like a possession-based style, and if they do that, we need someone to win the ball back, and Gavi is that player. I think with Romeo, obviously he does, but it's more so that he's more like deep and lying midfielder. He's more there to break attacks and win the ball back if between lines. With Gavi, his pressing helps a lot, and it also with teams that have play possession based, you want to make sure that you press them more so that they make mistakes and lose balls.
If they don't play low block, we're going to destroy them.
If it becomes like that, then I think this could be a high scoring game, like a 4-0 or 5-0 like Betis, because there will be just too much space for us to exploit.
Yeah.
To be honest, I don't prefer this midfield. Oriol Romeo has been doing an amazing job, and I am a bit pessimistic about how Gundogan will play as a central defending midfielder. I think Xavi is trying something new against a weaker team. I also think it's going to be a high-scoring match, 3-0 or 4-0 to Barca.
All right. So I guess we can go on to the match predictions. So, Sanmai, both of you, you both have already predicted the game, 4-0 or 5-0, and Sanmai, 3-0 or 4-0. I go with the same, maybe 4-1, right? I don't know. Maybe they could, sneak in a goal or something. 4-1. So, anything else you guys want to?
Yeah, I guess if you want to discuss one specific player from Antwerp, I think we're linked with him. Vermeeren, yes. I don't know too much of his play style. I just know that he does play defensive midfield, and he can play central midfield, but his quality isn't central defensive midfield. And I've seen some highlights. He's very good on the ball. He likes to. He's also pretty decent at dribbling for a defensive midfielder. He shoots often, which is kind of nice. Well, not for us, but if we do get him, since we are linked with him, but that's something we got to watch
he's
out for.
18 years old and 20 million.
I believe so. Yeah, his market value is somewhere around there, 20 million.
20 million, 18 years old. And
So yeah, so it's definitely feasible in our for us at least in our budget.
no, I don't think it's going to remain 20 million. It's going to increase. You know, it depends on the season he's going to have, and some of the clubs are going to jump in, especially Chelsea. They use this. They just come in. They increase the asking price, and then they end up not signing him, or either overpaying him and making him a flop. So it's a useless club.
Club. Currently I think it's us, Barca, and I think Dortmund are linked with him, and we don't want to be in a bidding war. The last thing we want to be in right now is having to bid for a player. So I don't see us paying more than 20 million for him, at least.
Yeah, we don't need any marquee signings for the next season as well. We just need to tap in Nico Williams, and if we can, and then Vermeer, it'll be a nice addition to the midfield. You don't need to sign any other midfielder.
I mean, even with Nico Williams, we'd have to pay, I think, minimum 10 for next year, I believe, or 10, something like that, because it increases every year of his contract with Porto. So the buyback clause is like, I believe it's like 10 million next year, and then 15.
No, Nico Williams.
Oh, the winger.
Yeah, Nico Gonzalez doesn't exist for me anymore.
Okay, so I heard Nico like Gonzalez.
No, he doesn't exist.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. Nico Williams is definitely to look out for, but I still think that he's still going to sign a contract with Bilbao.
The best thing he can do for Barcelona is to have a very small release clause.
Yeah.
Any topics you guys want to cover on?
We can talk about our predictions for the UCL campaign this season.
Let's talk about the UCL campaign and what we're going to expect from this campaign. Okay, now first, Sanma, let me ask you, what do you expect from this UCL campaign?
My expectations are quite limited. I think we should at least reach the quarterfinals, the round of 8.
At least the quarterfinals is your
at least
expectation from this UCL. It's doable. It's doable. I see it doable.
I think
unless there is an upset in the other groups and we end up facing a difficult opposition for round 16, things will go, the way it's meant.
I think with the team we have on paper, we really should be getting out of this group, especially with the group we have as well with Porto, Antwerp, and
Let me remind you what the stake here is that if we win all the 6 games with 18 points, Barcelona can bag 26.7 million, something around this fee. It was reported recently in the news. I don't know how this works. 6 games undefeated or 6 games win. I don't know how this works.
I'm pretty sure 6 games wins, because
6 games without even being a draw. I think this task is quite doable, and for a situation like Barcelona is in right now, it's going to be really useful, and it's not really one of the toughest groups in the world. It's the easiest group in the world, if you ask me. So, and the current form Barcelona is on, I think we should be doing this. If we are even getting a draw out of any game, it should be a disappointment, in my opinion.
I think the biggest team to watch out for us at least is probably Porto. They're usually no, they're no pushovers, but it's definitely a team to watch out for. They're especially away to Porto, the stadium, the fans. It's something that a lot of teams that go to struggle, but they don't make it easy for any team at all.
My biggest nightmare is fielding Lamine Yamal versus Pepe. I'm scared of it. I have a feeling something really bad's going to happen. Sweet 16, Lamine Yamal.
I think we should start Rafinha against Porto.
Fuck Rafinha, fuck his legs. The thing is, I'm expecting us to reach semifinals.
I think it's doable with the team we have. Semifinals would be really good.
Yeah. The thing is, I see in semifinals the possible teams we're
But
going to face are going to be PSG, Bayern Munich. I think if we, with all due respect to Luis Enrique and Mbappe and Dembele, I think if we face PSG, it's going to be a even match. If we do all the things right by the books, we can get something from the game. All
also,
right.
I think it also depends on like injuries because we don't really have the biggest squad depth. Like an injury in the back line, like one or two injuries would just make a big difference in our back line. Even our attack, Lewandowski getting injured, we don't really have then a proper striker then to field in. I mean, I know Ferran can play there. Maybe Felix, it's like a false nine, but I'd rather have a proper number nine going into like a game.
Right.
Against like a
I
big
mean,
team.
Sunlight, what do you expect, if we were to draw Bayern Munich in, let's say, quarterfinals? What do you expect from that game, Sunlight?
I expect us to win, like I have said before. If we don't or cannot defeat Bayern Munich, then there is no point in hoping for UCL.
It's like 3 years, Sunlight. I don't know if I ever spoke with you before the 8-2 game back in the Flick days. A lot of Barcelona fans in the Flick days, they told me we're gonna fucking end Bayern's career. And what happened was, Bureau facts.
During
After
the
2 years, we faced Bayern Munich, and even you were one of the fans who told we are gonna get revenge. It's payback time, bitch. And they made a bitch out of us. 3-0, 3-0, both the fixtures. It was embarrassing. We spent 150 million on the summer window. We signed some players who were expected to, make an immediate impact. They were decent though. We had Kunde, after a long time we signed a center back, and now we were equipped to face Bayern, but at the end we lose to them, I think 2-1 or 2-0, and in the second fixture 3-0. So you still think this year we are going to make a difference if we face Bayern Munich?
I think last year we were unlucky. Well, there is no point in blaming luck because we lost 2-0 on the first leg and 3-0 on the second. But we were the better team, but lost when it came to mentality. They had a brief moment of individual brilliance, which led to 2 goals in the first leg. After that, we were mentally defeated. Same with the second leg. This time, we have a much better team, and we should be winning against Bayern Munich. If we cannot do that, we shouldn't be thinking of winning the UCL.
There is no expectation to win an UCL, by the way, Sanmay.
So you don't expect us to win UCL with this team?
No,
You think this team is not good enough to win UCL?
no.
I think the only reason I would say we aren't favorites or good enough would probably have to come down to like Xavi himself. Because on paper, this is a squad that can definitely it's a UCL winning squad on paper, yes. But it's up to the coach to really just does he know how to work with this team? Does he know how to tactically win games, against big teams or win games in general when you're not playing well. And obviously, we saw that in La Liga last year, where we won a bunch of 1-0 games. But in Europe, it's a whole different game for us, at least. Even in Europa League, when we dropped down, like losing to United in the second leg, 2-1, and obviously the first leg was even shambolic, 2-2 at home. And the way we played just was not good at all. It's just it doesn't instill any confidence in me that we can make it to a final in Champions League. But if we do, I think it's really based on the squad. Realistically, I'm not saying Xavi is the worst coach out there. I'm just saying that when you really look at it compared to like other big coaches, like you ask yourself, what exactly is his tactics?
I respect that opinion, and what Harsh says aligns a lot with my opinion. We have a team that can win UCL, but it will come down to Xavi and his tactics and the mentality of the players. Xavi needs to step up his tactics, especially in the knockout games, because it's a completely different ball game.
All right, guys. So, anything else? Any topics that needs to be touched?
I think we covered everything last game and UCL. Let's just
All
hope
right,
we get
guys.
on a good start on a good note against Antwerp.
Yeah, let's hope the best, for this UCL. So usually UCL runs end up in disappointment or embarrassment. Since 2016, 2017, 2018, all the UCL there, we ended in big embarrassments. So this time, even if we lose, let's end the UCL on a high note. Anything else, guys?
Yes, guys, please subscribe to the YouTube channel if you are enjoying the content. Follow us on Insta and Twitter. Also join our Discord. We are mainly an international community for Barcelona fans, but we also have members that are supporters of other clubs, including Real Madrid. We simply like talking about football, so come join us and be a part of the community.
Yeah, please follow us.